This video is on the angles of a triangle and the area of a triangle. First, let's talk about the angles. So, the angles of a triangle will always add up to 180 degrees. This is true for all angles. So, this right here is the symbol for angle A. So, angle A is basically the distance from here to here. This distance is angle B. Angles are measured either in degrees or in radians. So if we're measuring this in degrees, then when you add up those three particular angles, they will equal 180 degrees. And like I said, this is true for all triangles. So if we have, for example, if angle A is 60, angle C is 40, then I automatically know that angle B is whatever number that will, angle B plus 60 plus 40 will equal 180. So therefore, angle B has to be 80 degrees. Okay, so there are three types of angles. You can either categorize angles as either acute, where the angle is less than 90 degrees. You can categorize it as right. Right angle is 90 degrees, or obtuse, more than 90 degrees. By the way, this ADJ means an adjective, so the word acute is an adjective. And when I say acute angle, this word acute is modifying the word angle. All right. So just like you have an acute angle, a right angle, and an obtuse angle, you can also have an acute triangle, a right triangle, or an obtuse triangle. An acute triangle is a triangle where all the angles are less than 90 degrees. So here, all three of these angles are less than 90 degrees, so therefore this is an acute triangle. If one of the angles is 90 degrees, then it is a right triangle. The reason that the way to define a right triangle is one angle is 90 degrees is because it's impossible to have more than one angle be 90 degrees. And that's because all three angles has to add up to 180 degrees. So if you have two angles that were 90 degrees, then the other angle would be 0. And so therefore it would just look like a line segment. It wouldn't actually look like a triangle. So if you have one angle that is 90 degrees, it is a right triangle. Finally, you have an obtuse triangle. And an obtuse triangle is a triangle where one of the angles is more than 90 degrees. So here is angle J that is an obtuse angle, which makes the whole thing an obtuse triangle. Okay, let's move away from talking about the angles to talking about area of a triangle. So the area of a triangle is equal to the base times the height divided by 2. So let's look at a few examples. So if you have an acute triangle, then you have your height goes straight through the triangle, and your base is this thing here on the bottom. You can take your picture of your triangle and you can actually rotate it if you want. So if I rotated it, let's say like this, then my base is this here, and my height would go from the top here straight down. For your height, the height should touch the base at an exactly 90-degree angle. Okay, let's look at another example. And just for the record, no matter how you rotate this, it will change like which side is the base, but regardless of how you rotate it, the total area will still remain the same. That's because it is still the exact same triangle. Okay? If you have a right triangle, your base is still the bottom, and your height will be one of the sides. And that's because that height is already touching the base at a 90-degree angle. Last example is what happens if you have an obtuse triangle. If you have an obtuse triangle, your base, once again, is the bottom here, and your height actually is, the line for the height is actually outside of your triangle. So this right here would be your height, and you would just sort of extend an imaginary line from your base out towards your height, and then have it touch at a 90-degree angle. It should touch at a 90-degree angle.